Thank you, choir. Welcome to First Parish in Framingham. We are a welcoming congregation, so whoever you are, whomever you love, wherever you are on life's journey, you are welcome here. We welcome you here however you're joining us during this time of worship, whether it's here in the meeting house, online, or whenever you might be watching this service in the future. My name is Rupal Bhatt. I use she, her pronouns, and I am your worship associate this morning. Be sure to read the announcements in the order of service. There are many activities happening after worship. Immediately following worship, you are invited to join us for coffee hour in Scott Hall, just across the courtyard. After our service, it's also our reception for Reverend Aaron. Please take a moment to turn your phones or other devices to their quietest settings. While electronic noises can be distracting, we welcome your human noises, especially the sound of your singing and your laughter. So please join in. The service is a service for all ages. We welcome your gentle movements and your participation. And of course, our service is broad. Since 1701, people have gathered as this community to rest or recharge, to be challenged or affirmed. Those people are like you. You belong here, maybe only for the next hour, but we hope for longer. We're happy to have you with us. I now invite you to take a comfortable breath in and out. Continue to take a few more breaths and to begin to release whatever you need to let go of, to be more fully present to yourself, one another, and the sacred in this time and place. A flame within a chalice is the primary symbol of our Unitarian-Universalist faith. We make this time holy by kindling our chalice flame. We light our chalice this morning with these words by William Stafford from his poem, The Way It Is. There's a thread you follow. It goes among things that change, but it doesn't change. People wonder about what you are pursuing. You have to explain about the thread, but it is hard for others to see. While you hold it, you can't get lost. Tragedies happen. People get hurt or die, and you suffer and get old. Nothing you do can stop time's unfolding. You don't ever let go of the thread. Please rise in body or spirit to our opening hymn, 358, Rank by Rank.
Good morning. Welcome to church.
A few weeks ago, I told a story about an invisible web. I wonder if anyone can guess what an invisible web is made of.
Invisible thread.
It might be made of invisible string. String, thread, same thing. Here's some. I have some right here. I would love to hand some of my invisible thread to you. It's my invisible string. And you can start passing it around to people. All right, because I have a story today about invisible string. Liza and Jeremy, the twins, were asleep one calm and quiet night. Suddenly, it began to rain very hard. Thunder rumbled until it got so loud that it woke them up. "Mommy, Mommy," they cried as they ran out to her. "Don't worry, you two," she said. "It's just the storm making all that noise. Go back to bed." "We want to stay close to you," said Jeremy. "We're scared." Mom said, "You know that we're always together, no matter what." "But how can we be together when you're out here and we're in bed?" Mom held something right in front of them and said, "This is how." How's that string going? Is it still moving? All right. This side didn't get any yet. Oh, good. You made your own? Excellent. Rubbing their sleepy eyes, the twins came closer to see what Mommy was holding. "I was about your age," Mommy said, "when my mommy first told me about the invisible string." "I don't see a string," said Jeremy. "You don't need to see the invisible string. People who love each other are always connected by a very special string made of love. But if you can't see it, how do you know it's there?" said Liza. "Even though you can't see it with your eyes, you can feel it with your heart and know that you are always connected to everyone you love. When you're at school and you miss me, your love travels all the way along the string until I feel it tug on my heart. And when you tug it back, we feel it in our hearts," said Jeremy. "Does Jasper the cat have an invisible string?" Liza asked. "She sure does," said Mom. "And best friends like me and Lucy?" asked Liza. "Best friends too." "How far can the string reach?" "Anywhere and everywhere," Mom said. "Would it reach me even if I were a submarine captain deep in the ocean?" asked Jeremy. "Yes," Mom said, "even there." "Or a mountain climber?" "Even there." "A dancer in France?" "Even there." "A jungle explorer?" "Even there." "How about an astronaut out in space?" "Even there," said Mom. Then Jeremy quietly asked, "Can my string reach all the way to Uncle Brian in heaven?" "Yes, even there." "Does the string go away when you're mad at us?" "Never," said Mom. "Love is stronger than anger, and as long as love is in your heart, the string will always be there. Even when you get older and can't agree about things like what movie to see or what game to play in the back seat, or what time to go to bed. Hey, wait! You two are supposed to be in bed! And with that, they all laughed as Mom chased the twins back to their beds. Within a few minutes, they were asleep, even though the storm was making that same loud noise outside. As they slept, they started dreaming of all the invisible strings they have, and all the strings their friends have, and their friends have, until everyone in the world was connected by invisible strings. Where are your strings? Yeah. And from deep inside, they could now clearly see no one is ever alone. This one goes to Michigan. And for anybody who's young or wiggly, I brought a visible string art project. You can join me up front if you'd like to participate.
I am the Reverend Mr. Barb Grieve. I use he, him, his pronouns, and I am your affiliated community minister. This is a time in our service that we share the things which weigh deepest on our hearts, our milestones, and happy and sad occasions. We share them because joy shared is joy expanded, and sorrow shared can feel as though someone is sharing our burden. You can submit your joys or sorrows either online or by writing them down in a book that is normally at the back of the sanctuary. We intersperse into our sharing the song, "There is a Love." We do this so that our joys and sorrow can be held with song, but also so that you might have a song on your heart when you are joyful or sorrowful. I begin with the sorrows and concerns of our gathered community. Ben Long writes, "My grandfather, who would have celebrated his birthday last weekend on May 30th, I really miss him so much." Good point, 2 weekends ago. Kathy Swift writes, "Norma Vents passed away at Mary Ann Morse Healthcare Center last week. She passed in peace in the presence of family. There will be no service. Her son and daughter will spread her ashes in Concord. We hold them in our hearts." Oscar and Erin Lilienthal write, "Hank Schaefer, Bumpa to Erin and her siblings, passed away last weekend. He was father of Erin's stepdad and was loved by many. Hank was an avid drummer, taught lessons."
It's my handwriting, I'm sorry. And taught lessons most of his life. He lost a long fight with terminal cancer. He is now reunited with daughter Tammy and wife Susan. We hold your family in our hearts.
Pam Roberts writes, "Dick Rader is very frail and weak. He would greatly enjoy and appreciate visitors in his room in the Oaks at Brookdale." Tom Graley writes, oh, that's a joy. "We will sing." And these are the joys of our gathered community. Tom Graley writes, "My nephew Patrick Graley and his new wife Lauren were married last Saturday in South Egremont. Kevin Stern writes, "Today I celebrate my 1-year anniversary with my girlfriend Leah. We made it official at Providence Pride last year and spent the day together at Boston Pride yesterday. I love you, Leia. And to that we will sing. And we light one final candle for all of the joys and sorrows that remain too great to share. I invite you into a moment of prayer and meditation and contemplation. Holy One, whose presence is ever with us, yet whose name often eludes us, we give thanks for your presence in our lives. On this Father's Day, we lift up our fathers and father figures, celebrating the good, letting go of the difficult, and holding gently the complicated relationships. In this time of trial and transition, uncertainty and fear, may we be reminded of the strength of community that loves us as we are, invites us to continue to deepen how we live, and supports us in our times of need. In this season of Queer Pride, we offer our joyful thanks to those who have come before and those who keep showing up. We hold tenderly those who are not yet able to fully show us who they are. We hold in our hearts all migrants and refugees and victims of violence, both nearby and across the globe. May they experience more welcome, more safety, and more love. We joyfully celebrate those who were able to go out yesterday to live our values of justice, equity, interdependence, and pluralism. We generously hope all will be transformed by the enduring power of love. We pray for the decision makers everywhere. May they have the wisdom to always turn toward justice. We pray for this community, for endings and beginnings, and a deepening in the spiral that is being together through the ages. We wish Lauren Smith smooth transitions. Strauss. We wish Lauren smooth transitions and send her off with our love, with thanks for her stories and wisdom, and a reminder that our strings will always be connected. We offer blessings of gratitude and well wishes to Reverend Aaron and Lizzie and Pup Knox as they prepare to embark on the next chapter of his ministry and their lives. Our strings will always be connected, even as the tenor of relationship changes. And we pray for each of us, holding tender the transitions of birth, life, death, and all that occurs in between. May we remember to keep love at the center, each finding the strength, courage, and encouragement to be our best selves, to be compassionate, empathic, loving, caring, helping people, now and in our moments of greatest need. May it be so.
In this moment of transitions for our congregation, it's important to remember that we are a self-sustaining community, and we depend on your courage, your strength, commitment, and generosity. The members and friends of First Parish in Framingham to ensure that this community is there for those who need connection in times of joy, unrest, sadness, and growth. Please give generously to support this place. The morning offering will now be joyfully given and gratefully received.
Words and deeds of those before us, waken here to keep us strong. Blend our voices in the chorus for our nation's living song. Courage bids us lift our eyes to the shining skies. Hope calls us on. Hope calls us on.
Loyal guides in love and duty. Lead us with a trusted light. Blessed are they whose inward beauty show the path of truth and right. On earth is their earthly prize. By their work we realize
Faith calls us on. Faith calls us on.
when the truth has made us free. Let us sit in gracious power. Bring us good that yet shall be.
Light the path before us lies. Joyful pilgrims now we rise. Life calls us on. Life calls us on. Life calls us on. Life calls us on. Life calls us on.
got backups too. So before I begin this sermon, which is my last with you, I need to address some rumors. It is June 15th, not June 8th. This is why your minister depends on the watchful eye of our office administrator. And this is what happens when he prepares his order of service for himself. I also have to mention, and someone in the choir told me that this was a rumor, that I have to give my stoles back. That is not true. All of these stoles predate you. Rather, I needed some way to represent all of the seasons of ministry with you in a visual way, and normally you only see one of them at a time. The rest of the time they live in the robing room closet. So here's the full array of them. I do have a lot. It is an occupational hazard. So are there any participants in the Framingham Heart Study here? Hope I didn't break HIPAA by asking you that. Anyone whose family participated in it? Friends? The Framingham Heart Study, as I'm sure most of you know because you live in or near the namesake town, is one of the longest longitudinal health studies ever conducted. As you know, in 1948, the Framingham Heart Study, under the direction of the National Heart Institute, now known as the National Heart, Lung, and Blood Institute, embarked on an ambitious project in health research. At the time, little was known about the general causes of heart disease and stroke, but the death rates for cardiovascular disease had been increasing steadily since the beginning of the century and had become an American epidemic. The researchers then recruited 5,209 men and women between the ages of 30 to 62 from the town of Framingham and began the first round of extensive physical examinations and lifestyle interviews, which they would later analyze for common patterns related to cardiovascular disease development. Since 1948, the subjects have continued to return to the study every 2 years for a detailed medical history, physical examination, and laboratory tests. I am certain it is no coincidence that a few years ago, when the city of Framingham decided to join many other towns in placing painted objects around the city, that they decided artists should paint on hearts. I would posit, though, that given our lengthy history as a congregation dating back to a year after the founding of Framingham, that our congregational history constitutes a different sort of Framingham heart study. What is at the heart of the first parish in Framingham? As I was preparing this sermon, I looked back on the second sermon that I gave you, right before the vote to call me as your senior minister. A sermon which I delivered via Zoom from my then girlfriend, now wife's bedroom in Kalamazoo. I am glad I get to deliver this final sermon from this pulpit instead. In that second sermon before you, I shared that I had read a sermon delivered by the Reverend Calvin Stebbins on the occasion of the 200th anniversary of the town of Framingham. In that sermon, he mentions that he believes that there are two kinds of memories: individual memories and institutional memories. I believe that this is true now as it was then. This sermon was delivered on June 10th, 1900. We as a congregation have seen a lot. This is our institutional memory. We witnessed the transformation of Danforth's farm into the town of Framingham and now the city of Framingham. We have witnessed changes through 5 buildings of our parish. The split of the Orthodox and the Unitarians into what is now First Parish and Plymouth Church, where the ministers, instead of barring each other from their pulpits, send text messages back and forth to check in on the price of snowplows or solar panels or what have you. We have also witnessed the founding of the Universalist churches here in Framingham, and then the merger, and then the creation, too, of a new faith tradition. We have witnessed the birth of a new nation, the Civil War, and the Civil Rights Movement. Yes, our first minister did enslave people, as likely did members of the early congregation. However, we also helped Black members of our church purchase houses when realtors would not show them houses because of the color of their skin. We helped create the recycling program here in Framingham. We put solar panels on our roof long before it was trendy. We officiated the weddings of gay and lesbian people. We have lasted through industrial booms and busts in our town. We have ordained talented ministers, including the Reverend Mr. Barb Grieve. 2 people associated with our congregation have received the award for distinguished service to Unitarian Universalism. Barb, again, you overachiever, you. And the Reverend Dr. Charles Gaines as well. And we have had ministerial transitions. Today is no different than what has happened 24 times before. How have we lasted as a religious community for so long? What remains and sustains is not the minister who occupies this pulpit but for a time, but what remains is the glowing heart, or the glowing coal, rather, at the heart of this congregation. And that glowing heart is not God or Jesus or religion. For this congregation's understandings of those things have changed over the years. The thing that has helped this congregation go on for so long is the members. It is you, dear ones. You remain. Fanned by the flames of whatever minister is present, the congregation remains. We have our individual memories, yes, of our time as a first parish, as Reverend Stebbins preached about, in this configuration and this constellation of people, which it feels like has lasted for quite a while. But in reality, this constellation exists only for moments in time. In that second sermon I gave during candidating week, which is really the first one I gave after knowing you, I mentioned some of the individual memories I heard about during candidating week. Stories of marriages, funerals, stories of being love's hands out in the world and protesting, stories of the impact of the Metro West Free Medical Program, solar panels, ESL classes, family promise, stories of youth group trips and gatherings, stories of Mrs. O, and a reference which I do not remember anymore, joke number 5. Does that ring a bell for anybody? No? Who knows? Clearly it was important during our candidating week, but I'm glad you don't remember either. wise words from ministers, service trips, times when our heart and head were connected. My own personal memories of you include the drive-through water ceremony, my first Sunday-ish here with you, where I met a good portion of you. The photos from that day are dear. I also remember editing the video for our first Christmas Eve service and tearing up at the video of us passing candlelight. And I remember being so embarrassed that I had left most of a conversation, the audio of a conversation I had with a member in after recording their reading. The fact that you do not remember that is good. I was mortified. We had much discernment over statistics for reopening, meetings and letters that you sent on the sale of 110 Edgell Road, the world's chilliest Christmas Eve service outside in 2021. Even the camera is shivering, it seems, in the video of that. The 11 weeks when we gathered for worship outside, where a team of volunteers and staff would set up a stage for our pulpit. And then we actually had to run the sound back into the sanctuary, have the sound on full blast in order that the assisted listening devices would work in a completely empty sanctuary. I remember me convincing the board that, yes, it would be a good idea to have my first intern during just my second year here. The feeling of getting up into this pulpit for the first time with you present, I did not preach a sermon from this pulpit until there were people here. Officiating a graveside service for a distant member of our church early on in COVID, where only 2 people were present. Your kindnesses during trying times in my life and my family life with the death of important people. Countless meetings to learn why the 8th principle was important. Me bringing the love of this congregation into countless hospital rooms while visiting you. So many pastoral visits. I remember some 50 Board of Assessors meetings. And throughout each of them, I felt like I could bring something valuable because of my presence. You have changed me for the better. I am a better minister because of your allowing me to practice the art and the craft of ministry with you. Thank you. While our individual and institutional memories have also allowed this congregation to endure, I think there is one other thing that has allowed us to endure. I think we as a congregation have lasted for so long because over the years, our people have hope. It's the only thing that I can point to, and I can't even point to it. We do not necessarily have an optimistic hope. There is too much going on in the world that is wrong for us to have an optimistic hope. But I think we have a hope in the way that Miguel de la Torre, a progressive Baptist theologian, writes about. De la Torre reminds us that the English sense of the word hope implies a kind of pausing in anticipation of something good that is about to be revealed. De la Torre reminds us that the Spanish word for hope, esperar, means something drastically different. It means to wait in apprehension of either good or evil. That means we need to be present and tuned in to what is going on. And the beautiful thing about this hope is that we co-create it together. It does not come from the universe. I think it is a hope set in motion by our ancestors, molded and tended and cared for by us, kept aloft, like how a choir can sustain a note for a really long time, while individual choir members take breaths. The note continues on. And then when we leave this place, there is someone to catch the hope and keep the hope alive. Perhaps that is what is at the heart of this congregation. A sustained and a sustaining hope. There is enough awfulness in the world that we will need sources and communities of hope in the days to come. Never forget that. My friends gathered here, thank you, First Parish, for allowing me the privilege of serving as your minister. It has been the honor of a lifetime. May this First Parish continue to sustain and thrive, and may each one of us continue to contribute to its sustaining and thriving. May it be so, and may you be a blessing to the world. Well, we have some flowers to bless as well. As was the tradition in the Unitarian Church in Prague on this last Sunday of the church year, we have gathered flowers from our separate sources, separate gardens, homes, and families. You can put that right in there, Emmy. Thank you so much. We continue to gather those flowers. This is one of the very few Unitarian-Universalist traditions, and it is in that honor, and in the same way that Dr. Chopek first created this ceremony, in that we assign no meaning to the flowers that we have gathered. Nonetheless, we need to bless them. So would you raise a hand in the direction of these flowers? We consecrate these flowers. We make them holy by their communion, their community, and their coming together by our gathering them in this singular gathering. Take a moment, observe, appreciate, bask in this bouquet, bringing beauty into our sanctuary. And as we leave this space in a few minutes, I ask that you pick with care a different flower than the one that you brought. Notice its beauty, notice and appreciate its fleeting blooms. These flowers are blessed, and may they bless us as we leave. So now let us rise in body or spirit to sing our closing hymn together. Number 1, may nothing evil cross this door.
May nothing evil cross this door, and may ill fortune never cry. Windows may the door
When we installed the Reverend Aaron Stockwell Wisman, we said that the act of installation celebrates a covenant freely made between members of the congregation and the minister whom we have chosen and who has chosen us. In the living tradition of Unitarian Universalism, the authority and privilege of calling ministers has always rested solely with the congregation. And now the end of our time has come, as Reverend Aaron has freely chosen to leave, which is also a precious right. This is a change that we also ritually recognize, both with sadness and with hope for his future and ours.
We have cherished Reverend Aaron's leadership among us. He has walked with us through our deepest sorrows and our greatest joys, through births and deaths and the transitions in between. He has worked with us as we work to bend the arc of the universe towards justice, counseled us in our personal struggles, and led us in building a strong church.
And now we must, with blessings and hope for his future and ours, change the nature of our relationship to Reverend Aaron. This is an ending and a beginning for all of us.
With great gratitude and love for our time together, I give back to you the ministry to which you have called me and the free pulpit, wine goblet and preacher crusher and all which you have offered me. I take with me all the love, all the memories. I got to get down to see all of you. All the love, all the memories, and all the ways we have journeyed together in the path of love and justice.
Will the members please join me in reading the following words? We, the members of the First Parish in Framingham, do hereby uninstall you, Reverend Aaron Stockwell Wisman, as minister of the First Parish in Framingham. We gratefully receive you back from you, our free pulpit. And we thank you for the ways you have spoken your truth, taught us about the wonder and mystery of life, challenged us in witnessing our moral and ethical concerns, shared with us our human joys and sorrows, celebrated the principles of our faith, and served us in love.
Reverend Aaron, with much sorrow and many thanks, we release you from your ministry with us. We will remember and continue the vision that you held for us of a beloved community engaged in the world in bending the arc toward love and justice.
We wish you, Lizzie, and Knox lives full of joy and love wherever your path takes you. Reverend Aaron, we promise to remember you with love, and we know that you will remember us with love as well. We send you forth from here to your future with great rejoicing.
In the script which a few of you have seen, I just note under benediction, Reverend Aaron probably cries. As we leave this friendly place, let us take the light of love out into the world and use it to brighten our pathways. And when we need to rest or recharge, be challenged or affirmed,
May that light guide us safely back. May we hold the light always, and the light hold us always. Amen. Go in peace.